Hello, good day. Welcome to the contemporary world, and sa araw na to, we were dealing Asian regionalism. Okay, at the end of this session, you are expected to differentiate between regionalization versus globalization. And malalaman din natin dito yung mga iba't ibang paraan ng Asian states on how they confront the challenges of globalization and regionalization through regionalism. So first, before we go on, magbibigay muna tayo ng mga powerhouse na masabi nating makapangyarihan sa part ng Asia, okay? So sino nga ba? So the first thing that goes into your mind, anong bansa? Hindi naman niya kontrolado yung buong Asia, pero meron siyang power na magdikta kung anong dapat gawin sa economy, political, pwede rin. So number one na dyan is China, okay? So China followed by Japan and Singapore. So according to the 2018 projection, population projection of the United Nations, China is the home of more than 1.4 billion people. Okay? So sa mga previous discussion natin, napag-usapan natin na yung China may pinakamaraming population sa buong mundo, followed by India. Okay, so sa Japan naman, bakit naging malakas yung bansa na to? After ng World War, pinakita nila na mas advanced din talaga sila when it comes to technology. Then, yung mga nagamit nila mga sasakyan sa World War, na-convert nila yon para maibenta sa larangan ng komersyo. And actually, napasok nila yung US. At kahit sa Pilipinas, kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga company cars na makikita natin is based sa Japan, like Toyota, okay? Honda, Hyundai. So, doon nag-boom yung economy ng Japan. While Singapore, so sa previous discussion ulit natin, napag-usapan natin na yung magaling na si Lee Kuan Yew, okay? Siya yung nag-elevate pataas sa way of living ng mga Singaporeans. Dahil sa political leader na yan, nagbago yung Singapore. And actually, Singapore, also called as the great cosmopolitan city-state, which means yung mga bansa, mga karatig bansa nito, ginagawang sentro na makalakalan yung Singapore. So among all the continents, Asia has the biggest population of at least 2/3 of the world inhabitants. And when it comes to landmass, 1/3 naman yung lawak ng Asia sa buong landmass ng mundo. In terms of economy, emerging and developing Asian countries, so mayroong nabuong tinatawag na Association of Southeast Asian Nation. Actually, we're part of that group. So what we call the ASEAN 5. So sino nga bang members ng ASEAN 5 na to? Okay, according to Obiols 2017, these 5 countries had an average of 6.3% and 5.1% gross development product growth, respectively, compared to the world's average growth of 3.5% as of 2016. And also, according to Dillinger, in 2016, China was the world's leading exporter of goods valued at 1.99 trillion US dollar, followed by the United States with 1.45 trillion US dollar. So kung titignan natin, yung mga scholar nagtataka bakit nga ba nagkaroon ng pag-angat ng economy ang part ng Asia. Maliban na lang siguro sa pinakamaraming population ng Asia and pinakamalawak na landmass, may nakita ang yung dalawang scholar na to, si Ilyasen and Arnaudotir, na yun yung reason kaya nag-boom yung economy ng Asia. So according to them, what makes Asian nations stronger than ever is the establishment of collaborations and cooperation based on respect. Now let's move on to the terms regionalization and globalization. Actually, these two concepts are both related to integration. Halos pares lang naman yung globalization and regionalization. But when it comes to scope, dun sila nagkakaroon ng pagkakaiba. So sa first topic natin na pag-usapan natin na yung globalization is the expansion and intensification of social relations and consciousness. Okay. Same with regionalization, parehas lang din naman sila. But Harrell, 1995, gave meaning to this concept and he said that regionalization is the growth of societal integration within a region and to the often undirected processes of the social and economic interaction. So in terms of scope, it is very clear that globalization is borderless. So yung globalization, may mas malawak yung concept niya. It happens around the world while regionalization happens only in a specific geographical region. Yun na nga, yung tulad ng Asia, dun lang nangyayari yung regionalization. So this diversity comes in different levels of development. So such as politics, economics, and even religion. So that is according to Richter and West. So the concept of regionalization and globalization, nasabi ko nga, halos magkaparehas lang sila na integration, okay? But sometimes, nagkakaroon ng confusion kung ipapasok natin yung term na regionalism. So according to Mansfield and Wilmer 1993, regionalism refers to the regional concentration of economic flows, while regionalization refers to the political process by economic policy if cooperation and coordination are present among countries. So, sinang-ayunan din naman to ni Ilyasen and Arnado Tier. So, yun yung nabanggit natin kanina na scholars. So, according to them, regionalism also pertains to the process of intergovernmental collaborations between two or more states. Halimbawa na lang, yung Philippines nagkaroon ng collaboration sa China with regards to drugs. Nung sinugod ang Pilipinas ng tinatawag natin na ISIS, nagkaroon tayo ng collaboration sa lower part ng Pilipinas. And yun yung parang Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, Indonesia. Pinalakas natin yung military power para hindi maka-penetrate tong ISIS. Asian regionalism is a new concept among continental communities. So meron tayong nabuo na tinatawag na ASEAN, which is 50-year-old na pagkaisa yung mga bansa sa Asia. Pero meron din naman nauna na tinatawag nating East Asia Economic Group, which is this group is failed. So for many reasons, kaya hindi naging matagumpay yung East Asia Economic Group. So the ASEAN community is comprised of three pillars. So ito yung political security community, economic community, and socio-cultural community. So the political security community gives importance to human rights, drugs, foreign relations, defense, law, and transnational crimes. So the association adheres to significant roles of monitoring economic ministers. So this would be for the economic community, finance ministers, central bank governors, free trade area, investment area, agriculture and forestry, transport ministers, telecommunications and information, technology ministers, science and technology, energy, minerals, tourism, free trade agreements with dialogue partners, and sectoral bodies in the arena of economic community. Okay, so yun yung for economic. While for socio-cultural community, ito naman yung scope niya. There is an avenue for cooperation among ministers responsible for culture and arts, sports, disaster management, education, environment, health, information, labor, rural development, and poverty eradication, women, youth, and civil service matters. So, yung mga binanggit ko kanina ng mga scope ng political security, economic community, and sociocultural community, pwede nyo makita yon sa below this video presentation. Nandun yung scope niya. So, ASEAN has also partnered with 3 East Asian countries. So, yung nabanggit ko kanina is Southeast Asian. Yun na nga yung 5 members na kasama yung Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines. That's it. So, ito naman, tinatawag natin to na ASEAN plus 3. So, sino to mga to? China, Japan, and South Korea. So, this group has its goal to address the 1997 Asian financial crisis and help each other cope with the crisis. So, similar to the goal of ASEAN, may mga group din naman na tinayo yung iba't ibang bansa para din sa integration ng mga karatig bansa nito. So kasama na dyan yung NAFTA or what we call the North American Free Trade Agreement, a free trade pact between Canada and the United States. Ngayon kasama na yung Mexico. So tinayo yung group na to help reduce trading cost, increase business investment, and help North America be more competitive in the global marketplace. This is according to NAFTA 2018. So on the other hand, meron din mga ito pa yung isa sa mga grupo na tinatawag ng mga iba't ibang bansa tulad ng EU. So yung European Union, lagi na natin nababanggit sa previous discussions. So it is a political and economic established to ensure free movement of people, goods, services, and capital within the European Union single market. So that was according to European Union 2018. So mapapatanong kayo kung bakit at paano nga ba umunlad yung Asia. So we have 6 aspects here that led to a greater Asian integration. So first, integration has been market-driven. Kung mapapansin nyo naman, right after ng World War, nagkasundo ang mga bansa, nagkaroon ng komersyo, at within Asia, there are variety of systems, institutions, social relations, and infrastructures that are put into place. So, nagkaroon ng emerging and developing economies, more specifically in China, Japan, South Korea. Ang Pilipinas, I'm not sure kung umunlad ba talaga tayo. Kasi meron tayong ups and down na nangyari sa history. Noon, sabi ko nga, tinatawag tayong Little Tiger of Asia. And how about now? Asan na yung Pilipinas when it comes to politics, economy? Second, formal institutions such as the Asian Development Bank, were established. So, yung ADB na topic na natin to dati, it was conceived in the 1960s to promote social and economic development in Asia. So, it composed of 67 members, 48 of which are from the Asia-Pacific region. So, third, economic grants and overseas development assistance are made available by better Asian economies. So, halimbawa na lang dito yung Japanese International Cooperation Agency. Maybe we called it JICA, okay? JICA. The aims of this company is to work on human security and quality growth. So the agency targets to promote international cooperation and development. Fourth is the production networks have expanded. So lumawak yung production ng sa bawat bansa ng Asia. Fifth is the cooperation among the ASEAN and East ASEAN countries. So, maliban sa Southeast Asian, naki-participate din ang East Asian countries para sa uh, financial ministers. And actually, naka-establish sila ng two economic structures, the Chiang Mai Initiative and Asian Bond Markets Initiative. Okay, the last one. If EU is rules-based, ASEAN follows a consensus rule as an approach to decision-making, which means gumagawa ng mga rules ang ASEAN na nakabase dun sa, kumbaga, common good ng bawat bansa. Alam naman natin na hindi tayo magkakapare-parehas ng beliefs, form of government, especially culture, okay? So, para mapagkaisa ang Asia, gumagawa ang ASEAN ng mga rules na for common good. So, the establishment of the ASEAN is also another initial reaction to globalization. So, actually, it fosters the spirit of regionalism. So, as a group, it sets out in the ASEAN Declaration of the following aims and purposes. So, we have 8 here. And first, to accelerate economic growth, social progress, and cultural development in the region. Second, to promote regional peace and stability. Third, to promote active collaboration and mutual assistance on matters of common interest. Fourth, to provide assistance to each other in the form of training and research facilities. Fifth, to collaborate more effectively for the greater utilization of their agriculture and industries. Sixth, to expand trade, improve their transportation and communication facilities, and raise the living standards of their people. Seventh, to promote Southeast Asian studies. And eighth, to maintain close and beneficial cooperation. So as you can see, this declaration results to individual countries do bilateral and multilateral agreements. So what do you mean by this? Ibig sabihin lang nun, nagkaroon tayo ng mga agreements sa iba't ibang bansa. For example, in the Philippines, it has standing bilateral agreements with China when it comes to trade, defense infrastructures, transnational crimes. So halimbawa na lang, itong nakaraang Pasko or New Year, mapapansin nyo na yung mga product na nakuha natin sa market, may mga tatak na nanggaling sa iba't ibang bansa, especially China. Okay, yung mga prutas like grapes, oranges, so something like that. So another agreements pa ulit sa Pilipinas ulit, reaction to globalization when also gave rise to terror groups like the ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. So, which has spread to the Muslim communities in southern Philippines. Kung naalala niyo pa yung Marawi siege noon, na kung saan umabot, if I'm not mistaken, 6 months bago napuksa yung terror group na to. Pero nakatago sila sa tinatawag na Maute Group. Though supportado pala yung Maute Group na yon sa ISIS. So while in 2017, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia had a trilateral security meeting. So they agreed that they need to conduct joint Navy patrols within their boundaries to prevent the entry and exit of the terror group. So that was according to Anteporta 2017. So kung nagkaroon ng multilateral and bilateral agreement sa mga bansa, other reactions to globalization, ito naman ay iba, which comes in the form of disengagement. So kumbaga, sineparate nila yung bansa nila sa kung anong merong policy yung nasa globalization. Like the Santay Suk village in Thailand created its own currency called the biyak. So that was regulated by a central bank in a village. So yung isang maliit na lokal na to, nag-decide sila na meron silang currency na gagamitin, and this homemade currency can only be used in that local, in the same place, at hindi pwedeng palitan ng currency nila na Thailand baht. So according to Komura 2014, there are other forms of disengagement. It appeared in the information of self-sufficiency groups, community-owned rice mills, and cooperative shops, the gathering of traditional herbal practitioners, and the preference for local conclusion, products. The concept of globalization and regionalization are the same, for they refer to integration. So yan yung sinabi ko kanina na parehas lang sila when it comes to integration. Pero the difference lies on their scope. Globalization is worldwide, while regionalization focuses on a specific geographical region.